And I'm not sure exactly what's gone on in the week that I've been gone. But Brent did say that he saw the two smaller cubs being nursed by a different female. This female in shots is very distinctive, and she's got a notch out of her right ear. And she's tended to be looking after only the larger of the three cubs that we've been seeing at this den site, predominantly. But now it looks like two of them are happily nursing away. I'm interested to know how much longer these hyena will stay at this specific den site. It was active not with these young cubs that we can see, but it was being utilized in early December. But then come mid-December, or towards the latter parts of December last year, they moved off and it became inactive, and it's fairly common for hyena to move their den sites, but there's no set hard and fast rule as to when and why they will. Oh, good morning. They are just too cute, these little hyena cubs. I'm very happy to see them again. So that to me looks like one of the smaller cubs. There's two of that kind of size, and I think the one that's still nursing, it's hopefully going to come up now as one of the larger ones, although no, they look both the same. So I'm not too sure. Anyway, we'll give it a bit more time, and potentially the other cub will pop out and therefore be able to provide us with... Oh, and here's another adult that's coming to the scene. Another two adults. That one was directly behind a bush that I hadn't seen since we arrived initially. It's such a privilege to be able to watch this interesting behavior at the den site. Oh, here's the bigger youngster. That's the bigger one. So now that bigger youngster is the one that this mother predominantly was focusing on raising, and it's almost certainly from a different litter. I mean, it's considerably larger than these other two which are coming down now. Yet she is raising both of them, and you wonder where this big one was now, whether it was nursing another female. Oh, I thought the youngster was going to come and say hello to us, which they might at some stage. They are very inquisitive, these little youngsters. I've got a feeling they're going to come closer to us. They keep looking up at us, thinking, what is it you guys are doing here? Brenda from Virginia is asking a question relating to how the adult hyena would move her cubs to another den site. Would she carry them in her mouth, or would they be walking? And I've never seen hyena moving den sites, so I can't be entirely certain, but possibly a combination of the two. She may carry them for parts of the journey and then allow them to also walk. They are of a decent size, these youngsters, so it is possible that they could walk. And I guess it also depends on how far the den site is that they are moving to, so not entirely sure, but I think a combination of the two. But if there was any necessity to move the cubs from a smaller age, I think that she would naturally carry them in her mouth. Hello. Hello, you. You are too cute. It's so important for the habituation of these animals, and this is all part of that experience, for us to be able to view them when they are older. We need them to be relaxed with us when they're youngsters, and as you can see, this one is very, very relaxed with us, almost making it impossible for VM to be able to film it. Well, it's just having a look back to the rest of the family just to see if everything's in order, which it seems it is. Oh. Well, just like most youngsters that get a bit ahead of themselves, it all of a sudden realized that it wasn't as comfortable as it thought it was. Now it'll be interesting to see what happens, because after that one got a little bit of a fright, the rest may want to come back and investigate what exactly it was that created the excitement. But what a beautiful setting this is. This is the greatest number of hyena I've seen at a den site since I've been here. And really wonderful to see not just the young cubs, but also 3 adults, one of which I recognize, well, the one closest to the entrance down to the burrow, where the 2 youngsters are sitting at the moment. But the 2 to the left I don't know well. And great to be able to spend time here with them. And that way, when we see them out in the field, we may have an idea of where they come from and which clan they're linked with. Okay, now, this is the moment I've been waiting for, because now it confirms to us well, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on a second. Now, the female where this cub is nursing now may just look very similar to the female that the other cubs were nursing from a little bit earlier. So I'm going to need to see it lift up its head in order to be certain. But it appears that they could be possibly sharing the roles of raising these cubs. Oh no, there's the scar on her leg there. There's a little scar on her leg, and she does have a larger scar, the female that has been feeding the larger of the two cubs. And that's the one we've typically been seeing, and she also does have quite torn up ears, so I think that's why I got confused with the initial female at the base of the hole where the two other smaller ones were nursing earlier. They've both got fairly scraggly ears, but interesting to see now the two different mothers together, and it's a first for me. You'll notice that she's a lot less tolerant of the other youngster. Okay, yeah, I just got confused, so apologies for the misinformation earlier. But the two females do have very similar notches in their right ears. Uh-oh. You see that behavior there? It's very, very interesting. And it could be that this is the alpha female who would have given birth first to the larger cub and then tolerated the beta female to give birth to the two slightly smaller cubs. But again, this is just speculation. But a really interesting behavior, and so lucky for us to be able to sit here and witness this with them carrying on as if we're not even here.
The big one's nursing and the other one now.
Well, you see now. How are we supposed to establish what's going on here, VM? So, as VM's just pointed out, now the large one is nursing, and now that adult's not tolerating it. You see that? So, really, really interesting behavior here. And that's, I guess, all we can leave to it. Just point out the interesting facts that that larger one was trying to nurse from the other female, but got disallowed, and the other female did also chase off the youngsters, the smaller cubs. I hope you're keeping track of everything that I'm explaining. I'm trying to be as clear as possible, but it is even difficult for us out here to establish what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's not necessarily important for us to know every finer detail of what's going on, but rather enjoy and simply just try and understand what's going on, but not know why or what the reasons are, but just to keep track of this interesting behavior that we're seeing. Could you just go again with who it's from? A question through from Lois. Good morning, Lois, asking about the female that was furthest away from the den, who did appear quite thin, and I also did notice that her hips seemed to be protruding a little bit, and yes, Lois, she did look hungry to me, and possibly it's just been a rough patch of either hunting or scavenging for this clan, or specifically her, which isn't uncommon for predators. They do have some days where they're extremely hungry and others when they're extremely full-bellied. Well, that one had nothing to do with any of the babies, so possibly a male, but hard to say. No, it's just the two mothers that are left. The two mothers who are confusing us as to who's who and what's what. It's not going to surprise me if both of these adults don't get up shortly and follow the other one that's left. It appears that they've finished with their nursing times and are now going to be wanting to go and rest and relax. You'll find that these adults may have been out for a long time foraging for food last night and will not want to be pestered by these youngsters the whole day, which they will be if they stay here. So it's fairly common for them to move off once they've done their nursing and then come back a little bit later in the afternoon for another nursing session before heading out in the evening. And just like most youngsters, be it humans or other animals, they are inquisitive, and slowly by slowly they increase their little exploratory missions away from the den sites. just got a question through from Lynn in Michigan. Good morning, Lynn, and welcome on board. Lynn is wondering how long they'll lounge around for during the day. And at this time of the year, I think it's fair to say that they'd probably return to the den sites anytime from 6, 7, or 8 in the morning until probably a similar stage in the evening, so around 12 hours. They'll be at the den site during the day. How long they spend resting in the middle of the night when they are out patrolling or between patrolling, I'm not too sure. But like most predators and carnivores, I'm guessing that they'd spend probably 18 to 20 hours a day asleep and 6 to 4 hours on the move at a higher intensity. But it'll be interesting to see if anybody can pull up some more information on hyenas' sleeping patterns and send them through to Nikki in the final control. But just like your domestic cats and dogs, they do spend a lot of time asleep. And it's no different to the cats and dogs out here. Well, sadly, in this situation, the hyena is neither a cat nor a dog, and it's somewhere in between, but interestingly enough, more closely related to a cat. Really is starting to pick up the heat now, and that increase in temperature may induce these adults to also want to move off and get some peace and quiet. Now, it is never easy to leave a situation like this because it's such great quality. But with only one vehicle being out this morning, I think it's important for us to keep moving and see what else we can find. The first animal that we are going to try and relocate on are the zebra that we saw on our way down to the hyena den sites. But what a great sighting it's been, and lucky with the timing, I guess, and the interaction. The fact that one of these cubs came so close to the vehicle was a real bonus. And also the interesting interaction between the mother and the the 3 different cubs and the 2 different mothers was also great to see, and something I've been hoping to see for weeks on end. So glad it's finally happened. And maybe just before we go, we've got a good opportunity for the VM to show you guys an eagle that's soaring. Often, as we decide to commit to showing you any form of an eagle that is soaring, they disappear out of view, which this one appears to be doing as well. Yeah, is it gone? No, teasing us. That's a pale form of a Wahlberg's eagle, and one of the first eagles up this morning. And as I mentioned, it is getting warmer now, and these hot air thermals will be rising up off the earth, thus allowing this raptor to float effortlessly above us. And it's something that I really love watching. It's a graceful and efficient motion, the art of flight. Okay. Well, my camera got some good action this morning, as did Vim's. So We're all happy? Okay, hyenas, you behave yourselves.